J.K. Rowling reaps what she has sown. For the longest time, she's played up to the wokeness of the far left, retconning the Harry Potter novels, for those that aren't familiar, saying that character was actually this race and that character was actually this identity. Well, she's played that game a whole lot. She pandered a whole lot, and now she's been canceled. Why? There's a really, I know, it's complicated. There's a complicated story involving a woman who says biological sex is real. She lost her job because of this, and she just lost her hearing. J.K. Rowling spoke up for her, and I have tremendous respect for this. But now the left is saying J.K. Rowling is a TERF, a trans-exclusionary radical feminist, which some people consider to be a slur. Let's read the story, and I won't waste your time with my exposition. We'll get to that point. Newsbusters reports J.K. Rowling condemned by Twitter mob for transphobic tweet. Turns out Harry Potter author J.K. Rowling might not be as progressive as she thought. Recently, the fantasy writer angered radical LGBTQ folks on social media for tweeting a defense of a person fired for believing there are only two genders. Full stop, Newsbusters, not the case. This woman said, male and female exist. She is correct. She said gender expression identity is different and people can express themselves however they want. She took the fair and reasonable approach. She actually ceded the gender framing to the left. But because she said male and female are real, and a male can never become a female, that's it. So no, it's not about two genders. Technically it is from their framing, but I want to make sure that's clarified. The author has since been called a transphobe, or more specifically, a TERF. For a woman who was once so woke that she officially altered the sexuality of one of her series' main characters to appease lefty fans, this is a bit jarring, but I gotta say, man, when people do the right thing, I give them respect and encourage them to do better. If J.K. Rowling is going to speak up for a woman who was unjustly fired, she did the right thing. And this is exactly what you can expect from the fringe authoritarian left who want to now destroy her over this. So you know what? I'm gonna make a bet. How much do you want to bet J.K. Rowling is gonna apologize? And that would be sad. I would be sad if she does, but I think she will. I think she's gonna do something stupid like, I didn't understand, I wasn't aware. Because I'll tell you what, man, Mario Lopez, bless his soul, went on the Candace Owens show and said 3-year-olds can't be trans. And then he apologized for it. And I have no respect for that. I'm sorry, 3-year-olds don't know what trans is. 3-year-olds might not even be speaking proper English at that point to even have a concept of something like gender expression. Let's read on. On Thursday morning, US time of course, it was probably afternoon tea for the British writer, Rowling tweeted the politically incorrect blunder. And I'll show you her tweet. She said, dress however you please, call yourself whatever you like, sleep with any consenting adult who will have you, live your best life in peace and security. But force women out of their jobs for stating that sex is real, I stand with Maya. And the response that I see is this. It's Winnie the Pooh and Piglet. I love honey. But you know what I don't love? TERFs. Trans rights are human rights. And now this is one of the top trends in the world. J.K. Rowling. Oh heavens, how dare she? There's this woman who was a writer for Rick and Morty, and she tweeted something like retire and then called her a B word. I don't want to say it. And you know what I thought about that? I'm like, I don't think she should retire over this. I don't think she should lose her job because she stood up for somebody. I also don't agree with insulting her. However, I do think she should retire in general. You know why? The past several Harry Potter movies, the Grindelwald or whatever, it's trash. They're all really bad. The writing's awful. You did Harry Potter. I love it. It's great stuff. But at this point, all you've done now is gone on Twitter and provoke people politically and pander to a woke left that will cast you out like a leper the moment you actually stand up for something you believe in. So maybe you should retire. I mean, I gotta be honest, I don't know, maybe she did retire already. It's not like she's writing more Harry Potter books, though she is doing Harry Potter stuff, whatever. Well, let's talk about what's actually going on here. This is what she's talking about. Maya Forstater. Judge rules against researcher who lost job over transgender tweets. They say, this is The Guardian, by the way. A researcher who lost her job at a think tank after tweeting that transgender women cannot change their biological sex has lost a test case because her opinions were deemed to be absolutist. That's a fact. Well, you look, man, I'll tell you this. Up until the point we developed technology that can radically alter your DNA and reconstruct your body at the cellular level, males cannot become female or vice versa. Now you can become a trans, you can transition and you can present as male or female, but that's different from literally being as such. In a keenly anticipated judgment, that will stir up fresh debate over transgender issues, Judge James Taylor, an employment judge, ruled that Maya Forstater's views did not have the protected characteristic of philosophical belief. That's insane. They're facts. It's biological fact. Where's reality going? The law is trumping reality. we're doomed, I'll tell you what. Forstater, 45, a tax expert, was a visiting fellow at the Center for Global Development, an international think tank that campaigns against poverty and inequality. Her contract at the charitable organization, which is based in Washington and London, was not renewed in March after a dispute over publicizing her views on social media. She was accused of using offensive and exclusionary language in tweets opposing government proposals to reform the Gender Recognition Act to allow people to self-identify as the opposite sex. Because what you need to understand is that will remove sex-based protections. Okay, you are actually taking away people's rights. I'm not saying that by giving trans people rights, you would take them away. I'm saying the way you've framed these laws so far are causing this problem. And I know it's a difficult, it's a challenging situation, how to navigate this. But if you want to protect people who are biologically female and trans people, it's not the way you do it, especially not this. A woman, a female, now loses her job over this. The Central London Employment Tribunal convened a preliminary hearing over the issue of whether her tweets, such as, quote, "men cannot change into women," should be protected under the 2010 Equality Act. She funded her legal challenge through the Crowd Justice website. Forstater had been supported by Index on Censorship. Its chief executive, Jody Ginsburg, has said previously, "From what I have read of Forstater's writing, I cannot see that Maya has done anything wrong other than express an opinion that many feminists share, that there should be a public and open debate about the distinction between sex and gender." But in a 26-page judge, I'm going to stop real quick. This is the bane of transgender rights. This is what will end real arguments in favor of the trans community. I'm going to say it like it is, and I know these activists are causing these problems. I'm going to tell you right now. If you want to pass laws that protect trans people, then the conversation needs to be had so that we can guarantee those distinctions, right? When we make a law that says you cannot discriminate based on this factor, we actually have a legal definition of what that factor is. If we say race, then we say, legally race is defined as this. We tell people what it means. Not always. But oftentimes you will find legal definitions, especially in like contract laws. I'll tell you this. If you are arguing that gender is something different from biological sex, then that is your path towards protecting transgender people. And if feminists want to protect based on sex, that is a different category. Sex and gender identity are going to be different. But if someone tries to say that and you get them fired, congratulations. You have no advocates arguing for your position. And what's funny is that when I point this out, which is actually a pro-transgender rights argument, how we can classify and protect transgender people, they get mad at me, I get in trouble, whatever, don't care. We live in Wally world, everyone's nuts. In response to the ruling, Forstater said, "I struggle to express the shock and disbelief I feel at reading this judgment, which I think will be shared by the vast majority of people who are familiar with my case. Quote, my belief is that sex is a biological fact and is immutable." That's a fact. I'm adding that, by the way. "There are two sexes, male and female. Men and boys are male. Women and girls are female. It is impossible to change sex. These were until very recently understood as basic facts of life by almost everyone. It's entirely possible that in the future, we have some kind of wonderful new technology we don't understand by today's metrics that can literally turn someone into the opposite sex. For now, what we can do is cosmetic surgery and hormone therapy, but that does not change your sex. It just means you're on hormone therapy and have gotten surgery. Now you can present that way, and people can respect you and refer to you in the way that you want to be referred to. That's called someone being polite. If she says these are facts we need to discuss if we're going to pass laws that are appropriate, yes, she is correct. This judgment removes women's rights and the right to freedom of belief and speech. It gives judicial license for women and men who speak up for objective truth and clear debate to be subject to aggression, bullying, no platforming, and economic punishment. I will consider the judgment closely with my legal team to determine what can be done to challenge it. So that's what happened. And that's why J.K. Rowling is under fire, because she did the right thing. And they're going to punish her for it. J.K. Rowling, who has played the woke game for a long time, is now coming out and saying this is a step too far. And I respect that. Check this tweet out. Act Up NY. Definition, TERF, trans exclusionary radical feminist. J.K. Rowling, you are a TERF. Your violent denial of trans and non-binary existence is gravely disappointing, yet unsurprising to our siblings who saw this coming. ACT UP is a diverse, nonpartisan group of individuals united in anger and commitment to direct action to end the AIDS crisis. Yes, ACT UP, verified Twitter, said that she is pushing violent denial. What? You see how far this goes? J.K. Rowling did nothing violent. She tweeted an opinion. That's it. They call it violence. You know what they say isn't violence? Smashing windows, throwing Molotovs, bashing skulls. That's not violence. It's not violence. We're fighting oppression. And then J.K. Rowling tweets an opinion, in my opinion, the correct opinion, but that's just me. And they say this about her. So in case those of you were curious as to why they have finally come and canceled J.K. Rowling, now you know. So I'll leave you with this. I think she will apologize. I think she's going to pull a Mario Lopez and say, I didn't realize. I thought maybe 3-year-olds really do understand all of this stuff. Yeah, I think she's going to apologize. I don't know though. She has FU money, okay? She's rich. She was a billionaire. I believe she donated a lot of it. So we'll see what happens. But I'll leave it there. Stick around. I got a couple more segments coming up in just a few minutes. And I will see you all in the next segment.